guys, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Scribbles, the artist and crocheter behind Eclectic Scribbles, and we are starting a new video. So in this video, it'll probably be a little bit of me just chatting at you, but I just came back from Heroes Con. The video is up on my YouTube channel, and now I am analyzing. This is what I do after convention. I go through and I analyze everything that is working, is not working, and then what I need to do to fix the not working things or try to fix the not working things, and then move on to what I need to do in order to prep for my next event. My next event is Otakon. Otakon is in DC. It's like supposedly the creme de la creme of shows over here on the East Coast. Everybody wants to get into it, and well, we did. We got picked in the lottery this time. We're going to be at booth A406, and it is along the artist alley up against the side wall. So we'll see how that position does for us. It is an inline booth, and so I'm having to figure out what I want to do to get back into an inline booth. It is a 10 by 10 space. So I have sort of drawn out a little 10 by 10 area here. I've drawn out a little 10 by 10 area, and I think I've got it figured out as to how I want to set it up. I'm going to have my art table facing out like I have at the past couple of conventions. I am going to have two carts, one for tumblers and one for glass cups. I'm going to have my toy bin back out with all of the buckets. I'm going to have my toy bin back out for the plushes along the right hand side of the booth, and that gives me 16 spaces to fill up with plushes. I've got 4 big bins and 12 mini bins, so that's what I'm going to be filling up. And then behind that, I'm going to set up 2 grid walls, and those 2 grid walls are going to have the bigger things on them. That's the plan for this setup. The stickers and the pins and keychains will be along the left hand side like they have been in the past couple of events, but this is what we're going to do for the inline booth. So that being said, I'm having to go through and figure out what I'm going to put in those bins, and I have gone with my most popular items basically. So we've got mini flockers, we've got my tiny turtles, mini chickens, mini mushrooms, axolotls, chicks in hats, which is the chicks in the duck hats, my opossums, stress balls, Kirby's, bees, dragons. I think I'm going to do some blueies, butt cheek froggos, and I've got 2 spaces that are unaccounted for. And I think one of those spaces is going to be dead, or possums playing dead. I think I'm going to separate those 2 out and have playing dead possums and then not playing dead possums. But that leaves me with 1 more bin, and I'm not sure what I want to put in that bin yet. I'm undecided. Possibilities include stingrays, nuggies, whales, sharks, something like that. And above the bin, I've got hobgoblins, my hobgoblins, voodoo dolls, goblins in 3 different baskets. And then above that, I'm going to have this shelf with the bigger plushies on it. So as of right now, for bigger plushies, I have a couple of monsters. I have got some goblins. I have got a whimsy bottom. I've got a few different things that I can put on that top shelf. And so that's going to be what the plushies look like. For the tumblers, I am going back and forth as to whether or not I want to ditch the fan art and just go with the bitch begones and my characters, and then adding in like the mythical creatures that we just done, or if I want to stick with some fan art. I'm bringing cups back to this event specifically, and I am going to be putting the mythical creatures on the glass cups. So I'm getting ready for that. But that's sort of what my breakdown is looking like right now. I've got some stickers that I'm going to edit some of the not great sellers out, and I'm going to put some new things in. So I've got my lists that I'm making on that right now. I made a list of what worked well for me this past convention, or these past couple of conventions, what didn't work well and what was okay-ish, to see if I can improve the okay-ish stuff and keep the things that are working well, and then fix or eliminate the things that are not working. I just did a whole big old podcast, or like a 30-minute podcast over on my Patreon about all of this stuff. If you want like some more in detail back in extra content and the full breakdown of all of this, then jump over onto my Patreon and grab that. It's in the new podcast. That's what I'm doing right now. That's basically what the week following any convention for me looks like. I'm also revamping my barcode system from this week and doing something different for Otakon. I talk about that in my podcast as well. I just got done making this list. So this is what my Otakon prep looks like in my bullet journal. This is what it looks like. You can pause, you can read it. I don't care. You can do whatever you need to do. I've got a list of things that I need to get done over on this side, and then on this left hand side is the stuff that I plan to try and get done for convention. And this is not a short list. This is not a small list. This is an $8,185 list. I kind of just want to find an extra $15 item and put it in here so that it's $8,200. That's the OCD sort of, like, I don't like this number, so if we could just add one more $15 item, it'd be $8,200 worth of stuff. But I was like adding it up real quick and just putting that in here in pencil. So I may definitely is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing. I'll definitely probably have a stroke. I will definitely add in something here to make it a lovely even number. Am I going to hit this number in prep? I have no clue. It is an ambitious number, and I do need to go through and figure out what I still have from my inventory from Heroes Con so that I can go ahead and mark those things off, and we'll see where we're at. I think I will go through my ending video of where we ended up, and I will go off of that. I know one thing that I am definitely going to keep on hand at my next convention is snacks. Snacks are going to take up one of these little bins back here. I think I'm going to just make a snack bin. One of these, I'm just going to make a snack bin, and I'm going to take that with me, or I'm going to make room in one of my bins that are already going with me for snacks, because Saturday my sugar crashed hard. My sugar crashed down to, I think it was 67 or something like that, and I could not recover from that on Saturday. I just couldn't. There was no way I was recovering from it. The rest of the day after my sugar crashed, my whole body had just given up. It was like, nope, now we need to rest. Now it's time to sleep. And so I yawned through the rest of the day. I had a hard time for the rest of the day. So we're not going to allow that to happen ever again. And I've got my zero sugar drinks because I'm trying not to carb out, because your girl is having some weight fluctuation issues. And once my weight hits a certain amount, I'm physically uncomfortable 24 hours a day. And so I don't want to add all this junk and carbs back into my diet, but I'm going to have to get my sugar and my carbs from somewhere just to keep my sugar from crashing again. I haven't really talked about this anywhere yet, but I've been having some pretty serious issues with maintaining a healthy sugar level over the past 9 months, something like that. And I think that it's possible that the numbness and the tingling that I was feeling back in March could be directly tied to the sugar issues as well. When I first started having these attacks, I thought that they were panic attacks. And it's only here recently that I have been really figuring out what these attacks actually are. I get the physical sensations that I get with panic attacks, the shortness of breath, the heart palpitations, all of that good stuff, and then the shakiness and everything else. But because I try to be hyper aware of my body and what's going on with me physically, mentally, and all of that good stuff, I have also started to monitor my actual, it's in my bag, monitor my actual blood sugar levels as well. So now I know that those panic attacks that I was having 9 months ago are most likely, like 99% likely, that it was due to sugar crashes and they weren't just random panic attacks. Because, I mean, it would happen all of a sudden and I would be sitting on the couch doing nothing, like watching TV, sitting on the couch. But I started to notice that I had some like feelings of hunger right around the same time. After a couple of attacks, I was like, well, I felt just the tiniest bit hungry. I felt tiny hungry, not like hunger pains or anything like that. I felt the tiniest bit hungry, and then it would crash out. So I've been hyper aware and trying to figure out and pinpoint all of my symptoms together so that I can figure out exactly what's going on with me. And it appears that the sugar is really, 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 really an issue now. So that's been fun. That's been a great discovery. So I make sure that I have sugary snacks and carby snacks and things like that around me at all times here. And now I'm going to have to make sure that I maintain those kinds of snacks at conventions for me as well, because it is not good for me to crash in the middle of a convention, especially if it is going to be a convention where Mr. Scribbles is not with me and not able to run and go get me a hot dog or something that I can eat really, really quickly. So I've been really fortunate. in the past several events that he has been with me, and I am going to have him with me for Otakon, which is fantastic. But that's not to say that every convention that I do, he's going to be available for, because that's just not how our life works. It's just not. So I need to make sure that I can maintain my sugar levels without leaving my booth. Anyways, that was a whole long-winded thing about my health, and so I don't blame you if you just skip past it. I don't blame you if you just skipped right past it and got back into the convention talk. So anyways, I've got my work cut out for me. I am trying to do like a mini shop update with all of the mythical creatures on Friday. So I'm going to be changing things over from being available at point of sale only to being available on the website. And I don't know how that's going to go. Honestly, I haven't done a lot of promotion for it. Basically, the only people who know about it are you guys who are here on my YouTube. And I'll try to put something up later this week. And I think I'm going to try and send out a newsletter. So hopefully we get a little bit of traction from that. But I am going to be focusing a lot of my effort on really bumping up my game as far as online sales are concerned for the next month and a half, in addition to making all of this stuff, because I need like online sales to pick up. Like, I need to not have 90% of my income coming from conventions, because I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do conventions, you know, and I want to continue to do conventions, but I would love for it to not, my income to not be dependent on doing the conventions, because, you know, not every convention is going to be great. It's not always going to be stellar. So we have to really, really focus on ramping up and diversifying my income streams. Patreon, doing great. Patreon is just, it keeps on growing little by little. Somebody else will come in and it's going up, and I'm so freaking thrilled about that. I can't even tell you. We've got YouTube now is monetized, and that's been going pretty good. I got a check from YouTube. I finally hit, you know, the $100 threshold, which was great. I don't know if we've hit it again for this month, but hey, that would be lovely. But yeah, I need the online sales in my shop to ramp up a little bit, because right now they're just not there. Anyways, that was a long-winded rant about what we've got going on this week. And that's all I know. So I have been sitting here at my desk doing this for the last 2 days, getting everything that I need together. So I know what I need to buy, I know what I need to do, I know everything about everything, so that I can actually start prepping. It's gonna be a mad rush. It's gonna be a mad rush to get this amount of inventory done, but I kind of want to see if we can actually do it, you know? I kind of want to see if I can actually get this full list done. It's a month and a half. It's a month and a half. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Bob the Builder said, can we do it? And yes, we can comes out every single time. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. I'm making a bunch of lists. It's very boring to watch. So I figured I would just chat to you guys for a few minutes and tell you where we're at with these things. So this is about twice the amount that I say I want to prep for a regular convention. And we've got about 3 times the amount of time to do it in than I have had here recently, because I've been having to turn around in 2 weeks and go do something else. So it's going to be a month and a half worth of stuff. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Do you think we can do it? But I think we can do it. So we're gonna give it a freaking good shot. Friends, I'm going to try to do this even though I know that the bird's going to go off in the background. I'm having a weird day mentally, which is fine. They happen. I'm in this struggle between what I want to do. I always say, like, find a hobby, like have a hobby that is fantastic, that can take you away from your work, and then don't try to monetize your hobby. And then it's like a do as I say, not as I do kind of moment, because here I am, my hobby was crochet, and here I am monetizing the shit out of it. So that doesn't always work out the way you want it to, does it? So I'm in this weird artist struggle between, do I continue both things, or do I let one go and fall by the wayside? And I can't bring myself to do that. So I'm in this weird place where I'm trying to find and strike the balance that I need to maintain the satisfaction of being able to do both and not drive myself into the dirt and suffer some kind of burnout because of it. So yeah, I'm in that mental space today. I'm having just a gross day, which is why you don't really see my face. And that's fine with me because I got all stinking hot and sweaty and gross outside. And so I feel hot and sweaty and gross and greasy. And this is not a good look. That's not the look I want to put out into the world. But anyway, yeah, that's where I'm at today. So I've set in my studio today. I put all the listings in draft mode on my website for the shop update tomorrow, which I'm excited about because I get to hit the go active button on the thing. But at the same time, I'm so bad at social media and advertising my shit that I don't think anybody will know it's happening. I don't think anybody but my patrons know that it's happening. And so therefore, I don't expect a single sale from it. If I do get one sale from my patrons, who I love dearly, thank you so much for your support. If you're over on Patreon, I just gave you some updates today on all of the works in progress that I've got going on and how I'm adding to the mythical creatures and how we're going to build the Scribbles realm of characters and all this good stuff. So jump over there if you want the good stuff. Jump over to Patreon, you know, shameless plug. But that's where all the good stuff is, and that's where all the up-to-date shit is. But yeah, I don't think anybody else is going to know that it's actually happening. So I don't expect anything out of this launch. I'm also trying to figure out what products that I want to carry and what products I don't think are going to work well for me. And I was talking about this in my podcast for June for my Patreon. And I think, if I'm being honest with myself right now, I don't think enamel pins are really my thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how much I need. I don't think enamel pins are really my thing. I think that I have a hard time selling my enamel pins at the moment, and adding to that stress and that financial burden can't make me happy. So we may do like a Kickstarter once the mythical creatures are sort of formulated for a line of mythical creatures enamel pins, but that will be in like one big huge chunk, and it will have to be a Kickstarter because there's no way in hell that I can afford to bring all of those out. So we'll do a Kickstarter for that when it's ready to go. And I've done like 5 or 6 new sketches today for the next set of mythical creatures. I do think that the keychains are doing pretty well for me now that they're on that keychain display at the front of my booth. I think that they've picked up in sales a lot. So I do think that I'll be adding like an acrylic charm to my stuff, although I have a laser, you know, and I kind of want to add wooden charms instead because it's less destructive, it's not plastics and stuff, so it's not as bad to the environment, I guess. And then also people can paint and color them any color that they want. And so I'm kind of like, well, then do I just do wooden and then let it just be like the outlines and the detail lines and things like that, and then let people sort of decorate their own? What do you guys think? If you were to buy a charm or keychain or whatever you want to call it, a bag, companion, or anything like that, do you have a preference? Do you want to see it printed on acrylic, or would you like to see it engraved into wood? And that way you could then customize your own, but in the scribble style. You know what I'm saying? Or you could just leave it as wood. It doesn't have to be customized at all. You know, that's on you, boo-boo. Once you get yours, you know what to do with it, and you know what you don't want to do with it. So what side of the keychain fence do you fall over on? Do you fall over on is a weird way to say that. But if you were going to fall off the fence, which side would you fall on? Anyways, people think that apparently me and my husband going back and forth is hilarious. And I have gotten people saying this to me for years. When we used to live stream on Twitch and he would walk into the room or something and we would just go back and forth, people thought it was so funny. And I'm like, that's just us. Like, that's not for the camera. That's not us putting on a show for the camera or whatever. That's just us. I don't know how to be anything but me, and he doesn't know how to be anything but him. So this is just our reality, but I don't know why people find it hilarious, but for some reason they do. They think we're funny. They think we're funny, and we can't figure it out. So this is just how we talk to each other. Anyway, we're going to be that crazy old couple that, you know, people do TikToks about that just say off the wall bullshit to each other constantly and just go back and forth and cuss each other out because he's losing his damn marbles and she can't remember shit or see shit, or you know, and marbles are just going all over the place. And yeah, that's going to be us, I think, one day. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm in this weird headspace. I'm in a weird headspace. And I was looking over my list, right? In order to do over $8,000 worth of inventory, which is an insane number. Just let's go ahead and say that it's never going to happen, because it's never going to happen. I'm never going to hit that number. I don't know why I set unachievable goals for myself. I don't know why I set unachievable goals for myself, but I'm like, let's just throw caution to the wind just for shits and gigs. If this is all I did all day, every day, I could hit that number. No problem. But this is not what I do all day, every day. It is 2:54 in the afternoon, and I just came in and I'm starting because I was getting I'm tired of sketching, so now I just want to do something different. So I come in here and I start crocheting things that I know I need to crochet. And I'll bounce back to sketching before the night's over. So I do this part-time, and making $200 worth of inventory a day would get me to that $8,000 goal. But what I don't think people realize is $200 worth of inventory a day is a full-out ridiculous number for somebody only doing this for a couple of hours in the afternoon. That is a crazy number that I'm never, ever going to be able to hit. Do I already have several $100s worth of stuff, and so I don't have to hit 8,000? Yes. I do have several things, but not enough, you know. So what I did yesterday, which I didn't tell anybody about, like I didn't do an update, I didn't do anything. I've been feeling weird and gross for the past couple of days, so much so that I just signed up for the Better Me wall Pilates. Like I got a 12-week subscription for like $25. I'll drop some shit down in the freaking description box if anybody wants to join me on this terrible, terrible journey. I feel so fat and I feel so gross and I feel so ick, and my body's falling apart. My insides are falling apart. You know, my outsides are just going every which way, and I don't know what to do about it anymore. And so even though I am terrible, absolutely fucking terrible about taking care of myself, eating right on a consistent basis, or working out of any kind, because I've not worked out in ever and forever. And forever I don't work out. I mean, look at me. I'm tubby. But I had it in my head that I want to, by the end of this year, I want to look a little bit better, and I want to be a little bit more content in my body. And I want my body to feel a little bit better so that I feel a little bit better. Like, I don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks of me. Like, I'm not there. I'm 44 years old. I don't give a fuck what other people think about me. As long as my husband still finds me attractive, I'm golden. And I asked him, dead ass, I'm like, you know, you call me and you say things to me like, what's going on, you sexy motherfucker? And I say, what's going on, you sexy beast? And all of this good stuff, right? And I'm like, but babe, do you really think that I am attractive? Like, that attractive? Am I that attractive to you? Like, do you really mean it when you say those things to me? And when you look at my body and we're like, let me get me some of that, or you know, those kind of things. I'm like, do you really mean it? And he's like, absolutely, because he doesn't know how to be fake. If he thought I was fat, he would tell me he thought I was fat, and then I would cry, and then I'd smack him or something. I don't know. It wouldn't be good. But anyways, yeah, he doesn't really know how to be dishonest, or he doesn't sugarcoat shit to make you feel better. Like, he's going to tell you what he thinks, whether you want to hear it or not. And that's just groovy most of the times, and except for, you know, if he doesn't like something I'm doing, or, you know, it would be awful if he didn't find me sexy. So he's really the only person in the world that I care about finding me sexy, and or thinking that I'm pretty or anything like that. So it's not about that. Shut up, bird. It is about how I feel inside my body. And I think I mentioned and touched on this a little bit in an earlier clip in this video. Like, once I hit a certain weight, my body physically starts to ache. And I think if I can get down a little bit off of this high number that I'm at, or it's high for me in my body anyways, that maybe I would just feel physically a little bit better. Like, it would be a little bit easier to move. Shut up, bird. The bird just, she can hear me. And so she's screaming for my attention. And then the dogs are in there playing. So she's screaming to play with them. And she can't play with them because they think that it's okay to eat birds. Anyway. So anyways, I joined this Better Me thing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to do something. Let's just at least, like, get rid of some of this. Like, some of this extra stuff right in here. Let's just see if we can shimmy some of it off, maybe. Like, if I could go to one of those dance workout classes where they're just up there shaking their rumps and whatever and dancing to the music, like, I would do that. But the one that I really want to join is, like, in Raleigh, which is like an hour away, and it stays booked up. And if you've seen their TikToks, you've seen their TikToks. I mean, because there's girls and there's guys and everybody, and they are in there working it, girl. And I'm like, I would totally do that, but it's too far away from me, and it always stays booked up. Anyways, so we're on the Better Me Pilates, wall Pilates things, because it was supposed to be doable from a low impact side of things. And so we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I stick with it. I got my little yoga mat out, and I was like, okay, we're going to do this. And then I left the damn yoga mat in the studio. Like, unintentionally, it's still out there. And it's original packaging that I bought over a year ago. And never used. Not once. Not once did I use it. I got that weird hula hoop thing there for a while. And I hula hooped like twice. I hula hooped like twice. I think my husband just threw that thing away. I have a treadmill in my kitchen that I've used on occasion, very sporadically. I bought, see, this is my problem. I think my problem is that I just like to shop for the shit and then not use it. I've got these little pedals that'll fit under your desk, like if you're on a bicycle, like it's just the pedals. And then you pedal, and I don't do that. I pedaled like twice, which is lovely. These things aren't cheap either, so I'm just a shopaholic. What else do I have? I had like the tension bands or whatever, but my mama took those, and then they didn't work out for her, so she may have given them away to somebody else, but I never used them, so I mean, what am I complaining about? Anyways, we're going to try this wall Pilates thing. I bought the 12-week plan instead of the 4-week plan because I'm a sucker and I'm gullible, and I have to cancel it before the 12 weeks is up, or I'm going to get charged like $67 more for the next 12 weeks. And I don't know if I want to do that yet, so we'll see what I look like at the end of this 12 weeks. But yeah, I wanted to lose about 30-ish, 30 to 35 pounds between now and, let's say, the end of the year. We'll see if it happens. I'm going to say that it probably I'm going to say that it probably won't. That if I lose 3 pounds, that would be great. Which is not too difficult for me. But once I get down to a certain point, it's like my body gives up and it's like, bitch, this is all you're getting. And that's over with. So, we'll see. We'll see how far we get. But if anybody wants to join me and be my accountability partner in this, then let me know. Also, so back to the subject at hand. The subject at hand was balancing the two things that I love to do and not burning out on them. And the thing is, I think I'm kind of burning out on just the crochet stuff. And I'll tell you why, and it's not what you think probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm bored. I think I'm bored with making the same things over and over again. But I make the same things over and over again because I know that they sell. So I'm like, well, then I can make the things and then those things will sell. And then that will justify me having this and having all of these balls of yarn laying around. And I just ordered $200 worth of yarn off a Premier site. But I haven't ordered Premier yarns in like months. 3-4 months, like since maybe the end of last year or the beginning of the year. I have not ordered Premier not once because I've been using mostly Burnout Blanket and Sweet Snuggles Light and Chenille Home Slim. So I have not ordered from Premier in so long, but I really have been enjoying making this stinking cute little keychains. And I make those with the Premier yarns. And I had the FOMO. I had the freaking FOMO, you guys. And I wanted those stupid ass limited edition colors. There's a gnat. I wanted the stupid ass limited edition colors. So I got one of each. And, and I ended up with $200 worth of shit in my cart that I don't know why. Because I've got almost every color still. And it's never going to get used. It's never going to get touched. It's been sitting here for months and months, nearly untouched. But, okay, it's not untouched. I have been touching it, I promise. I've been making keychains out the wazoo, and I plan to make some more keychains. But the reason that I think I'm bored is because I make the same things over and over and over again. It's sort of on my list right now to make 20 mini chickens and 20 regular sized chickens. And that's 40 fucking chickens. And I've already made hundreds and hundreds of chickens. There's a whole chicken cult. And since the beginning of this year, I've made hundreds of chickens. And I'm a little, even though people love them and people want them and they expect to see them now at my shows because I have the chickens, we have the meat. I have the chickens. And now people sort of expect to see the chickens. And so how do you just stop making the chickens and be like, well, you missed your shot? People that have never met me before ever, except for, watch me on YouTube or something or see my stuff on social media and see that I'm going to be there. You missed your shot to get a chicken or a possum. Or there's some things that I don't mind making over and over again. I think the little dead possums are the cutest thing in the world. And I am going to be making a bunch of little dead possums. So, that's just fun. You put a spin on it and then it refreshes the whole thing. But I'm getting tired of making the same things over and over again. But I make them because I know that they're going to sell. And I sort of wanted to move more into pattern making and making my own stuff and my own designs and making new stuff. But I haven't allowed myself the time to make new stuff. I've given myself an $8,000 goal to hit between now and August. In 40 days, I want to hit $8,000 worth of inventory. So in what time, mister? In what time did I give myself to create patterns? I didn't. There's no wiggle room in there because making these little mini chickens at $15 a pop, that's like a shit ton of mini chickens just in one day to hit that $200 mark that I'm never ever going to continually hit. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to drop and what I'm going to keep. I hate that y'all are just going to be sitting and me talking for a freaking hour about just bullshit that's going on in my head. But see, this is what I do. Once I talk shit out, it sort of becomes clearer to me what I need to do. So you guys are like my involuntary therapists. I don't need the feedback. Well, I do like feedback. I do like it when you comment and you're like, me too, samesies, and stuff like that. But, just getting it off my chest and saying the words out loud make me it's cathartic. You know, that makes me feel better than feeling it inside and not ever expressing it. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense to y'all? Do you ever feel better if you just say it out loud, or you just put the actual words into writing and put them out into the universe or whatever? Is that not cathartic to you guys? Because it's really helping me out right now. So I have been creating patterns for my patrons. I am going to be creating a new pattern for the month of July. I've got Bumble that I need to make, and I am going to finish up Bumble by the end of this week, and Bumble will be released to my patrons for the month of June. But what is the balance going to be? Because as much as I love crochet, and don't think that I don't love it, because I do. I've been doing it off and on since I was a little girl. I love that my grams was on my dad's side. My grandmother was the person who taught me how to do it. And I just appreciate the shit out of that, and learning a skill when I was little and being able to carry it into adulthood, and then people actually wanting to buy the stuff that I create. That's fantastic. But do I want to continue to monetize it in the way that I'm monetizing it? Or do I want to scale it back and make the things that I create available online only, so that they're available to everyone all at once? And then I can spend my time creating the patterns that I want to create, and only taking my art to shows and maybe a few things here and there that I've made along the way. Or do I want to continue down the path that I'm on right now and just make the small things, random things over and over and over again? And I just know that eventually I'm going to hit a wall. Like, do I eliminate things from the stuff that I do every now and then? Absolutely. Do I put in new things to freshen it up? Absolutely. But do I know what sells well for me? Absolutely. And so am I going to continue to make myself make those things if this is the path that I'm going down, so that I know that something at my convention will sell, in case my monsters aren't a big hit, which, you know, for me so far, I've only got two. I've got two monsters, and they haven't sold yet, which is fine. My hobgoblins are selling. My little hobgoblin pattern selling like gangbusters. You know, it's going fine, but the monsters haven't gained that much traction yet. And I do want to create more. But I think what I want to do, oh God, I'm getting sidetracked again. I think what I want to do with the monsters, instead of creating each little one out of crochet, is I think I want to get plushies made. I think I want to build their little characters up, and then I think I want to get them turned into like plushies, so that, you know, it's a little less expensive for this item, because they would have to be manufactured. I mean, obviously, I don't even know how to sew. I also have a sewing machine, brand new Singer sewing machine, sitting in my studio. The box has never been opened, because I like the idea of buying shit, apparently, with the good intentions of doing shit and then never doing the shit. But, you know, anyway, I don't even know what I'm saying, really. I'm just kind of, this is what I'm thinking right now. And I'm leaning towards I think I may just want to scale back the level that I'm at, as far as how much crochet I take to shows and things like that. Making my crochet items, but making them available to the public at large via my website, and doing more like pattern designing, so that, you know, more people can create their own versions of my stuff as well. I think that's what side of the fence I'm going to fall down on. And I don't know how well that's going to go over. And I'm kind of terrified about it, because me selling my art and my crochet at these conventions, crochet is like half my income, because it's half my booth. Well, if I take away that half of my booth, would those people just not shop with me at all? Do they not like my art? You know, will my art be enough to just sustain me if all I'm doing is my art? And that's scary. That's scary. Have I done just my art at conventions? I started out that way. I did my first convention basically once I got started. I mean, we've got one that's in there that doesn't really count, which is LuxCon, like year before last. And it's just not the right place for me. I didn't have the right kind of stuff for it. And, you know, I just was out of place, which is fine. I was out of place. So that one doesn't count. But then the first convention I started was GalaxyCon Richmond. And it was 99% just my art at a 6-foot artist alley table. And I made money. I made money. And then I upped it a little bit. And put more crochet stuff out at Fayetteville in that April, and it went okay. But then people really just started buying my crochet stuff, and then I leaned more heavily into the crochet stuff, and people were buying my cups, which had my art on them, and they were buying my crochet stuff. So I guess it kind of is working. But if I eliminate the majority of my crochet and I rely heavily on my art to make money at these shows, can I do it? Is it going to be the same? Will these people still shop with me? And it's terrifying. It's terrifying because I've sort of built myself up as the person who does both. Like, this is all my art, this is all my crochet. And then if I take one of those things away and do primarily crochet online, and I'm only going to shows with my art, can I still make the amount of money that I need to make from a show? Maybe we'll have to see. If that's the path that I choose to go down, we may have to see. So I don't know. But I do want to get into pattern designing more. I want to create my own patterns. I want to have some fun with creating new things and having those patterns available for everybody to use and purchase and all of that good stuff, so that they can go to these conventions and that they can sell these creations that they've created using my patterns. That's enough for me, I think. Like, in the long run, do I want them to buy my crochet stuff right now? Absolutely. Do I want them to think that my crochet patterns are cute and fun and lovable and all of that stuff? Absolutely, I do. But would it be fulfilling enough to have my creations be few and far between for myself, but created into a pattern that the masses have? And then people can be creating their own works from my stuff. So I can walk past an artist alley table and I'm going to go, oh, that person bought my pattern. That's my pattern right there, you know? Somebody thought that my pattern was good enough to dedicate a piece of their table to. And, you know, they made something from my pattern, which is already happening. But on a larger scale, that's what I sort of want. And I think that that would be really fulfilling, you know, should it happen. Should it happen. Am I making sense? What do you guys think? Tell me down in the comments what you think about this whole conversation, because it has been a whacked out rant, probably sort of bouncing all over the place incoherently, but that's just the way that my brain works, so you'll have to excuse me for that. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this vlog up tomorrow. Like, I'll edit this because I've now been talking to you guys for 30 minutes and I've made 2 chicken bodies. Too many chicken bodies. But, yeah, I'll probably just go ahead and put this little ranty vlog up, because this is basically what my week is looking like post-convention. This is it. This is what I do. I go through everything that happened at the convention, and Monday is usually a decompressed day. get your inventory together, figure out what sold, what didn't, what did you do well, what didn't go so well, is there a way to improve the thing that didn't go so well, or do you need to get rid of that thing? You know, how are we going to fix this thing for the next event that's coming up? And that's what we go through. And then you run to the bank and you deposit your cash, because nobody needs to keep that much cash on them, and that's just unsafe, especially because I carry mine in my side bag, which is basically my purse. So then you go to the bank, and then I had to get my nails done because, oh my God, it had been over a month. It was before Mother's Day the last time I got my nails done. They were so grown out and hideous. So then you decompress and you go do a little self-care, and you get your nails done so that you feel a little bit better about yourself, and you know, you're not missing a nail and all of that good mess. I mean, it wasn't missing, it was there, but it wasn't looking like the rest of them because it was no longer painted. Because these are all my nails. It's just that, yeah, it was growed out. It was growed out. Anyway. And then Tuesday, I'm editing vlogs. I'm doing this and that. I'm sort of getting the sketchy bug sort of out of my brain, because it's been days since I've been able to do any art. So I tend to want to do art on the Tuesday following. And then I'm prepping for the shop update that I have coming up on Friday. And I'm doing that on Wednesday. And I'm making the files for the cups. I'm going and getting the cups. And I'm pressing the cups, and then I've got to photograph the cups, and then I've got to show everybody the cups. It's on my Patreon, because they get the first looks at everything, which they could see my cups already now, which by the time you guys see this, my cups will be just on the website. So, well, maybe not. If I get this vlog up for tomorrow and I get y'all an extra little vlog in, it won't be until 5 o'clock that y'all get to see it, but this will sort of air at 1 o'clock. So then there's that. And then there's the, oh, well, I got to get on a move and I got to start crocheting stuff. And then the whole thing, this entire process continually repeats itself. And like, am I going down the right road? And it's a vicious cycle. Am I going down the right road? But then I just hunker down and I crochet anyways. And then I lose sight of the one thing that I said I wanted to change, and I make an $8,000 goal for myself, and then I expect to hit it, and then I never do. I have not set a crochet goal for myself that I have actually hit at all. No, it's never happened. There's always like 20 of this and 30 of that, and it's just I've never hit those goals. I don't know why I set them for myself, but yeah. And then I fall back into the vicious cycle. So I think, talking it out with you guys, I think I've managed to say what it is I think I want to do and I think I should do. And now I just have to tell myself that this is it, that this is the way we need to go. This is what we need to do to move forward. And anything that you manage to do on top of that, bonus, bitch. That's a bonus, bitch. That's just in there for funsies, you know? So, where did we land? What side of the fence did I Humpty Dumpty over onto? I think I Humpty Dumptied over onto the we need to scale back, as terrifying as it is, the amount of crochet plushies that I put out at convention. We need to make the crochet plushies that we want to make and make them all available online. Oh, I only got 10% battery left on my microphone, so I got to stop talking here in a minute. But make them available online as I want to make them, and do little shop drops of the specific things that I want to create online, and make them available for everybody. They don't have to be there just in person. Everybody can have a fucking chicken. Literally everybody can have a fucking chicken. And then focus and work on what I want to do, and that is create patterns that will bring more fiber artists and more crochet artists into the market scene and into the convention scene, making things with my patterns and being happy and content with that. And then just make whatever I want to make whenever I happen to want to make it. Share that with you guys here on YouTube, and all of that good stuff so that we could just make random shit. Like if I want to make a freaking donkey tomorrow, I want to make a donkey, and I should be able to make the donkey even though I don't have any other donkeys. And I shouldn't have to worry about whether or not it's going to have a space in my booth. If I want to make a fucking donkey, I should give myself the freedom to make a fucking donkey instead of 15 more chickens. Right? Who's with me? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? The bird is. Anyway. So that's where we're at. That's where this rant has gotten me. That is how this crochet with me is going to go. The bird's going to scream. I'm going to tell you that I love your faces. I hope you hung in here for this rant with me. If you did and you made it to the end, is there like a crazy? Is there an emoji for crazy people? If you can find like a crazy emoji, put crazy emoji down in the comments. If you can't find a crazy emoji, maybe there's a donkey. Who knows? Maybe there's a donkey. Or just put hee-haw. Just put hee-haw in the comments down below if there's not a donkey either. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on the subject. Let me know what you guys think and what you feel. And like seriously, like I want to know your opinion on the matter. Like, what do you think of where we're at right now, or where I'm at right now? And would you like to see more patterns? And would you like to see me be free of whether or not it'll fit in a convention booth? Let me know. Anyways, thank you for hanging around with me. I appreciate the shit out of you. Jump over onto Patreon so that you get the first access and first looks to what apparently is now going to be some shop drops on the website when I make things, because they're going to be in limited supply. They're not going to just go on forever. This may be the last chickens that I make for a while. It could be. It could be the last chickens that I have in stock, and you might want to grab them if you're going to be part of the freaking chicken cult for 2024, because it'll go away. Anyways, yeah, now I'm just losing my fucking mind. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. So many people watch my videos and just aren't subscribed. The button is right there. Look, if you click it, it will notify you when I go off on another crazy tangent video. So you might as well click the freaking button. Click that little button and then ding the notification bell that's somewhere in this general area so that the fucking bird can scream at you, and so that you're informed each and every time I upload new content. Don't forget your comments. Tell me what you think of my rant. Leave me a donkey or a hee-haw or a crazy something or other down in the comments. It really helps the channel out. Don't forget to hit that little thumbs up button too, because who doesn't love a crazy rant? That thumbs up button is like right here-ish. Just boop, tap that bad boy. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay? I love you. I love your faces so much. I do. Goodbye.